All right, so now I'm going to head over to see Mark Lewis with Chmachyakyakya. I hope I'm saying it right. I've been practicing this, so Chmachyakyakya.
Chmachyakyakya. Chmachyakyakya. Chmachyakyakya. Easy.
So it was Chmachya. I was saying it right before.
Tiny babies can do it.
Tiny babies can do it, but when you're institutionalized with this English language in the United States, it's pretty bad,
Chmachyakyakya. Easy.
I was saying it right before. Okay, Chmachyakyakya. There we go.
See?
Yeah, it is easy.
Yeah, it is easy. Hi.
So Mark, you're doing some cool stuff that is really dear to my heart. I've been foraging for foods and stuff since I was like a little kid. I'd run off in the woods, burdock root, cattails to get the flour, like all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So now you're focusing on things that are known for being pretty much, people have been cultivating these foods for thousands and thousands of years, and these are the ones that grow particularly well in the Southwest.
Right. And a lot of people a lot of city people don't think of them as crops. They think of them as wild. But actually, if you're out in the wild and you find these things, that you should say to yourself, okay, it used to be people here. Wolfberries, prickly pear cactus, these are things that really like people. So when you find them in especially a highly concentrated area, you should say to yourself, somebody used to live here. Okay.
Gotcha. So when you're out in the desert and you see like a whole grove of prickly pear, people were helping to cultivate those to get to that point.
Right. Assisted agriculture, it's called. So
I love that term. That's a good term for you guys to know. Assisted agriculture.
Now for us, it's foraging because we're going away from our home. We're out in the wild and all this other stuff. But basically, in this area, there are about 2,000 different things that you can find out in the desert and in the foothill mountains. So small plants, big plants, things you expect would be food, things maybe you don't expect would be food. We've got a lot of stuff.
Now, are you cataloging these things, or have you started to, or?
Well, I'm not the only one. I mean, if you go to the botanical gardens, Wendy Hodgson she really knows this stuff. So, and she's got a really great book. But as far as recipes and things, that's something new that I'm contributing to. So for each of the different plants, like here at the farmers market, from October to May, I basically run through each week the different things, and I like to show people how they can use them in their house, how to prepare them, how to make them in recipes, and then away from here I work with chefs who are now using them as ingredients. A lot of good vitamins and minerals, but also it's local. So.
Yeah, man. So you're not using all this extra resources to bring food from one spot to another. And, a lot of this food is going to waste out there. I mean, the animals do eat it. They need a good portion of it, but more than half of it's...
Right. And a lot of this you can grow in your yard, and a lot of it's already growing. It could be gleaned here in the city. For example, right up here behind us, you can see these palm trees. Well, acai, A-C-A-I, is one of these new superfoods from Brazil. It's actually the fruit of a palm tree that is so closely related to these things, it's ridiculous.
So it's like the Washington robustia with the small berries.
Yep, you can eat him.
I know you can eat them, but how, dude? You're gonna be my new best friend, okay, Mark? I hope you realize that, because I've got this program through my tree service called Foraging Fanatics, because so many of my clients are throwing away their oranges, their pecans, their acorns,
mulberries.
Mulberries, I know. They can't eat enough of them. So
the fruit, the dates, right? There's a lot of hackberries. There's all kinds of things, and even here in the city, we've got the oak, the acorns.
They're everywhere right now. They're dropping. If you guys look at the ground, you'll see them on the ground. Then you can look up and say, oh, there's some fresh ones, and just grab a handful. But be gentle.
With oaks, you can actually take them off the ground, too. I wouldn't do that with mesquite, but with the oaks, yes.
Oh, my gosh, that's...
Oh. As long as they're not broken, as long as they're not split.
That's great. So, guys, there's free food out there, and they don't taste bad. You just roast them, right?
Yeah. Or, well, what I like to do with the ones from the city here, it's this live oak. You would want to process them a little bit, leach them. But if you grind them first, then the leaching goes much faster because you're just trying to get the tannin out of it.
Yeah, I've been literally munching on them. I've been pulling them off and eating them, and they're a little bitter and.
Yeah, we don't have growing down here the Engelmann. If you go up to Superior, the Engelmann are all over the place. You can eat those right off the tree. But the ones down here, you do want to process them just a little bit.
Gotcha. So, so they're doing a little demo today. We want to tell us about that and how you're affiliated?
Well, they're going to be using tepary beans. And tepary beans, there are like 4 or 5 main species of bean. You should realize, except for fava beans, all beans are native to North and South America. They were taken over to Europe and Asia. Mung beans belong over in Asia, but we really are the center for beans. So teparies is just one species. It's not the same as, for example, if I can hold these up, you've got a kind of black bean, which is a relative of the kidney bean. But there's also a black bean that's a tepary bean. And tepary beans have about twice as much iron as the regular, kidney bean kind of bean, black bean. And you can determine how much iron they have depending on the growing season you allow for. The shorter the growing season, the more concentrated the iron is in the tepary bean. The tepary is also good because it's native to the desert. So it's going to grow without irrigation. It does not like to be bothered after the first couple of weeks. So it's grown in the ground as a baby. It's a baby. You got to take real good care of it, water it and stuff. But after the first couple of weeks, it prefers to be left alone, and it's basically going to use the rainwater during the summer. When the whole plant dries up in the fall, that's when you harvest. There are more than like 20 different kinds of tepary beans, different colors. There's some that are square instead of round. There are some that are speckled. This white kind is the kind that the chefs like because it's actually a sweet kind of bean. So you can use it to make desserts. You can use it as a base for other things. The white tepary, very nice. I'm not sure which kind she's using for her demonstration today, but tons and tons of vitamins. It's native, loves to grow under mesquite trees, Palo Verde trees, those ironwood trees, kind of legume trees, without any help from you. So you could grow it in pots, you could grow it in your yard. If you go out in the wild, they're real tough to find because they blend in so well. They like to grow in grass underneath the ironwoods, and
so you'll find them like in a guild, a tree guild. Like you got the tree, then you got shrubs, and then you got the beans.
And it's kind of the similar kind of guild as the squash and the corn and the beans.
Yeah, the three sisters.
These three. You'll have a legume, which is beans. You'll have some kind of grass, which is corn. And then you'll have another plant, which could be cactus or squash or oak or something like that. They grow together because they're using different nutrients in the soil. And they provide each other with different things like shade from certain of the plants and the nitrogen from the legumes and things like that.
And the ground cover holds moisture in because it doesn't rain all the time here.
Right. So it's not just the three sisters. If you look here, there are the famous three sisters, but then there are others. Out in the desert, your cactus is usually going to grow with some grass and usually near one of the legumes.
Gotcha.
That's how saguaro starts from a tiny baby. It needs
mother tree.
Nurse tree, yeah.
The nurse tree, yeah, that's a good one. We actually do have a question. Somebody's watching live right now, and they got a question they want to ask. So, what do you got?
What's the best way to prepare the temporary beans, or how long should you cook them for?
Teparies are desert beans. What I like to do is soak them overnight first. Get rid of that water. Then soak them for 2 to 3 hours with cold water. Keep that water. Cook with that water. Then you're going to cook them. It's up to you, the firmness that you want. I would say cook them separate from other stuff so you can control the firmness. When you get it, it's usually going to take, I like to do 4 or 5 hours because then they get real tender. If you have the black or the red, they'll maintain their shape. The white will break down, and then you can use it as an ingredient for other things. Right. But so overnight, then a couple hours, keep the water, and then you're that's soaking, and then you're cooking them I go 4 or 5 hours, and that's how I like them.
Have you ever done them in like a crock pot or slow cooker? Or?
Right, but again, I would keep them separate. And then with a crock pot, that can be like a half an hour if you've got the temperature that you like.
Oh, wow, cool.
If you're used to cooking beans, cook them like that in the crock pot, but then check the firmness, right? And work on that, get it to how you want it to be, right?
Awesome.
The black and the red, real good as a bean in a salad because it keeps its shape. So with corn, with peppers, that kind of a bean salad. The white, I would say you could use in a salad, but it's better as an ingredient. I'm going to hopefully be working with Casey Hopkins. She's the donut maker at Hello Diner. We're going to make, just like in Japan, you have anpan, where they put the sweet bean paste into the donut.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Try and do that with some tempeh beans.
That's a great idea. When are you guys going to start doing that?
Don't know yet. We've been talking about it for a while, but hopefully this spring. Here at the market, I do a dessert thing in May where I have 3 or 4 desserts. I do a panna cotta made out of choya cactus, and I do a shrikand with saguaro and prickly pear and wolfberry syrup. And then I usually...
You're speaking my language, man.
And I usually do a thing with the beans, and I'm hoping it'll be the donuts.
Right on. Hey, one thing I did want to bring up, because is there another question? Oh, okay, sorry. One thing I wanted to bring up is I've never heard of this. I love juniper trees. I think they're amazing. I have clients with some, so I'm like cutting the branches off to prune that they want removed, and then I've been throwing it away. I've been using it like as incense and stuff as much as I can, stuff like that. But tell us what you're doing with this to help, reduce the sugar. Well, not reduce sugars, but make it more bioavailable for you.
Well, when you make blue corn mush, maybe it never occurred to you that the blue color doesn't come from the corn. But the other thing about that blue color, very, very important, it actually changes the chemistry. So here's your blue corn. This is Hopi blue corn. And blue corn, like most corn, is full of sugar. It's almost all glucose. It's got a GL glycemic load of about 97, 98.
Way high. Oh my, that's like ice cream.
100, glucose is 100, so, now you add ash that's made from juniper leaves, and that drops that mush glycemic load down to 1. So what is happening? Basically, the leaves burned down are filled, they're a colloidal structure, almost like a soil. It's ash, filled with copper, selenium, magnesium, manganese, boron, a whole bunch of different things that bind up the sugar and prevent it from being a fast sugar, changing it into a slow sugar. So this is about 2 bags full of juniper leaves burned down to ash. And this talcum powdery stuff, 2 teaspoons in 1 cup of the meal and 4 cups of water will make you a real anti-diabetic fighting, delicious tasting corn mush, blue corn mush. Okay?
That is cool. Thanks for the recipe, guys. So check that out. I'll probably have somebody type it up in the comments too, just to have it under your, because you don't have a website right now and you don't have a Facebook, so I'm gonna.
But people can email me, M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy, U, J, I, B as in boy, @yahoo.com. Say that the Green Man sent you, and I'll send you some recipes. And I'll also give them if you could put the camera down on that, couldn't you?
Yeah, get a shot of this.
My phone,
okay.
Yeah, my phone and email are on there. If you're wanting recipes or information or to go on a walk and talk, just let me know. Let me know that you saw it on Green Man. So
cool, man, guys. This is so awesome. You did a great job, dude, man. You're so full of info. We're gonna hang out. We're hiring you. Foraging Fanatics is gonna hire you to take us out on a walk or 2 or 10 or. I feel really. What was that movie? This feels like the beginning of a beautiful friendship.